This is a little bit. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. This is a little bit too loose. Move some stuff out the way and move this a little bit more and center this more. Keep it. My big old forehead. Wow. Y'all, I'm reading old stuff that I wrote down, and it is just so on point. Hey, y'all, come on in. All right. Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. My prayer is that y'all are doing well. I'm going to go straight into it. So, I was on the phone with a client. There were certain messages that I was speaking on, and I just want to share a few of them with you. Not too many lives ago, I ended up speaking to some of y'all about some of y'all may be feeling like you are disconnecting from the church. And I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to the last 5 to 7 years of the reports concerning church attendance. But there have been reports that for the last 5 to 7 years that church attendances has been extremely low. They even have documentaries that you can even find on YouTube. Some of them are saying, people are leaving the church to find spirituality and all this other stuff. Okay. I want to ease some of you. I want to set some of y'all free. I'm going to be saying some things that y'all may know and some things that y'all may not know. Nevertheless, it's going to be in love. All right. Hey, everybody. Y'all know I told y'all about my background. I used to be an ordained minister. And before I had even left the Christian church, I had took my ordination and folded it up and tore it up and threw it away because I did not feel comfortable having a piece of paper to validate me to other people. In other words, like, this verifies me to do ministry. And I just didn't feel comfortable. So I was always rebellious even when I was in the church. Not because I wanted to, but just I did what felt right. Okay. So fast forward to now, following my origins and my roots, which is really truth and love. The word Elohim, and I've told y'all this before, the word Elohim is plural, more than one. Anytime you see I am in the Bible, or even in Hebraic language, I've studied the Hebrew language. I'm not fluent in Hebrew, but I can understand the etymology of some words. Okay, I've studied enough to know and understand language and where it's going. Okay, anytime you see a I am, it means more than one. That's how they plural their words. Like we put S's, we put an S, or we'll change from child to children, or goose to geese. There's certain vowels that changes to show you that it's plural. Well, I am shows you that anything in that scripture, in the scriptures that's written in Hebrew, is plural. So when someone says Elohim, they're actually acknowledging several gods. Okay, this is going to be extremely important for you to follow this because of what I'm going to be saying next. All right. So anytime you see, especially in the old scripture, which says God said, let there be light, God this, God said, God did, God, that is Elohim said, Elohim did, Elohim, gods with an S. I need you to hold on to me. In 2019, which in the Ethiopian calendar is a different year. 2019 became extremely significant to us because it's 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar, which talks about the end of the age in the Mayan and Aztecan calendar, in the Olmecan calendars. Okay, so we officially crossed over from the age of Pisces in 2012 into the age of Aquarius. We're not dawning on it, we're in it. Hey, everybody. 2019 is also highly significant because of the Willie Lynch letter. Let me break it down to you. Let me close this door real fast. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I love you. The Willie Lynch letter in the year. Now, let me back up. Some people say that the Willie Lynch letter is a fable, that it wasn't really written and that it was not given to it was fake. Okay? Some people say it was fake. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I know for a fact it's real. Okay? Whether there was a man who stood on the Jamestown River and preached his little sermon of how to keep a slave or not. The fact that that was written gives you it gives you a front seat to the curses that was placed upon us as a people. Officially in 2019, preferably around Juneteenth. For some of you who don't know what Juneteenth is, we celebrate black energy and freedom and our people from June 13th to June 19th. Now, mind you, my daughter passed away on June 19th. We also know that it will be coming up in a couple of months, about a little over a month and a half now. We'll be having Juneteenth around the corner, okay? Since we're in April. I don't know if you can run this back in your mind, but around June 19th, 2019, there was an energy in the spiritual realm that broke. Okay? That marked, listen to me carefully, that marked the specific date of that Willie Lynch letter curse being broken. Okay. So you're wondering why Mississippi is trying to do their best to resurrect Jim Crow laws. Are you following me? Or do y'all even know about that? So Mississippi is trying, or they have tried to um, bring back Jim Crow laws, segregation, that kind of thing. Okay? This does not bother me. It doesn't bother me because it's telling me exactly what I need to know. What I know is going to happen and what I know is not going to happen. All right? So we have the official date, 2019, June 19th. I know there's a different date on the Willie Lynch letter, but I'm not going off the letter. I'm talking about the energy of that letter. Officially, we came from the slave curse, the get out curse in 2019, preferably around in June, on around the 19th. The 400 years was over. This also dates back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 14 through 68. All right. I don't have that written down, by the way. I'm not looking. I memorized some things. I just only have the zodiac signs written down because I'm going to touch on some things. Okay. Deuteronomy 28, chapter 28, verses 1 through 14 talks about the blessings. You'll be blessed in the city, blessed in the field. You know the Fred Hammond song. Blessed in the city, we're blessed in the field. We're blessed when we come and when we go. Okay, you know, that's where he gets that from. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through the 14th verse. But nobody reads the 15th to the 68th. And if you do not do this, the curses is going to follow you. You're going to be sold off. You're going to be having kids and you're not going to be able to enjoy them. Nighttime going to come. You're going to be scared. You're going to be praying for daytime. Daytime is going to be so horrible. You're going to be praying for nighttime. You're going to have scabs on your head and you're going to be having all this stuff. All of this stuff. Talking about curses. Why am I bringing all of this up? Well, we have been lied to when it comes to what we have been called as Christianity, okay? The Old Testament and the New Testament God is not the same. You can look at it as Enlil, Old Testament, Enki, New Testament. Enlil is the Anunnaki God who wanted to kill everyone off. Enki is the one who wanted to keep the humans. The Anunnaki story is older than Genesis. All right? This is where you get humanity from. The reason why a lot of you are coming out of the church is because God, I pray that they feel this thing in love because I'm about to offend some people. I'm about to offend some folks, but I have to. The God that has been taught to your grandmama and your granddaddy and your great grandmama and your great granddaddy, and they passed it down to your mama and your daddy, and they passed it down to you, and you might have passed it to your kids and whatever. Okay. The reason why you are on the fence or is coming out of, some of y'all are fighting with your so-called faith in the religious section of it, not the spiritual, but the religious, and you feeling like you're going against God, but really you're being called out, is because I said I was gonna say some things y'all was gonna know and some things y'all won't. It's because that's not your origins. But this is the deeper part. This particular God, listen to me. This particular God that allowed your enemies to keep you in slavitude made a contractual agreement with the people who enslaved you. They could not find a way to renew that contract by the year 2019. That old contract had to be broken because it was a contractual agreement that was made in the age of Taurus. Okay, let me break it down to you. Taurus is the age of Moses. How do you know, Rafiki? Okay, I'll explain. When the children of Israel came out of Egypt and went into the wilderness, Moses, whose real name is Moshe, told his brother Aaron, look at here, I'm about to go up to this mountain and become a little hermit for I don't know how long, because I got to go up here and talk to one of these aliens, aka Elohim, aka God, because I'm supposed to be getting some instructions. And I'm going to come down, I just don't know when. But I'm going to keep you in charge. This is what Moses, aka Moshe, told his brother Aaron. Are you following me? So you know the story. He goes up to the mountain. He's there. But then the people get restless. Do y'all remember why the people get restless? The people get restless because their flesh needs something to worship. Let me get this straight right now. I don't care what Merriam-Webster dictionary you get this shit from. Worship is different from reverence. Veneration, we don't do ancestral worship over here. We pay homage and we give reverence to them. They try to make it seem like veneration and reverence is worship. It's not. Giving honor and paying homage and giving someone praises is different from worship. When you clap when your child do something good, you're giving them a praise. That's good, baby. You're rewarding them is giving them a form of praise. How many different forms of praise did you learn? There's so many. Hallelujah is a form of praise. There's a praise that you can give in the form of a dance. You know, I can keep going on and on, right? So, Moshe is up there on the mountain. Okay, thou shalt not. What else? All right. Thou shalt not what? Okay. Now we know this is a lie because he wasn't doing this. But what ends up happening is the people ended up itching for something to worship. Because remember, they have been in Egypt for so long. That's all they know is this pantheon of so many gods. So watch this. They have a culture shock coming from out of many gods to now supposed to be one out of the Elohim. Follow me here. This is the contractual agreement. I'm about to help you. In the age of Taurus, this agreement was made. He's up there getting the condensed version of Ma'at, the laws of Ma'at, which they tell you is the 10 Commandments. And passive ass Aaron, his brother, is down there. And the people start to gather up the gold and the silver and the metals from out of the noses and the earrings of the people. And what they do, they melt it down and they make what? The image of a golden, they say calf. You may know it as a cow. The older versions of the Bible calls it an ox. What is the sign for Taurus? Okay, so you're following me, all right? This is to let you know what age we're in. Esau and Jacob is the age of Gemini. Okay? Remember, they're twins. The Bible says uh um Isaac went into Rebekah, right? Isaac went into his wife Rebekah and had kids. But the Bible says that she was pregnant with twins. Out came Esau first, then Jacob, aka Jacob, right? So Gemini, which is the twins, is the two brothers. Now, you see the lover's card as a man and a woman, but it really boils down to choices or the forked tongue road. Because you do have to choose which one you're going to go down, right? So what ends up happening on the cusp of Gemini and Taurus energy, remember they're born in Gemini, but they're born on the cusp. So getting ready to go into Taurusian energy, this is where Moses come in with the golden calf and all this other stuff. But backing up, we have the twins, Esau, who's the hunter, and Jacob, who's the mama's boy. See, some of y'all don't want to hear this kind of teacher because y'all are running around here to we Israelites, we Israelites, we the sons of Jacob, we the sons of Jacob. But Jacob was a supplanter, was a trickster. He tricked his brother out of his bloodline, his divine right. You don't want to, but you don't want to hear that though. You want the promises of being an Israelite, but you don't want to have to go back and correct what was incorrect. How this man made him sell his divinity to him over a hill of beans because he was hungry. Huh? And then his mama, oh have mercy, came behind him when the daddy was on his deathbed and couldn't see, lost his sight, helped her son lie to the daddy again, and made him put animal hair on his arms so that when his daddy was getting ready to pass the father's blessing according to which numerical value they was born in, he ended up giving the firstborn's blessing to Jacob. The mama helped Jacob lie to get that birthright. Is that not stealing? But yet you walk around here like something is owed to you. I'm talking to you, divine Hebrew Israelites. Let's go there. Because some of them believe that the children of Esau, which is Edomites, some of them think that they're white folks. Not necessarily. The Bible says he was hairy and ruddy. That just means he was a redhead, light-skinned boy. Jacob came out looking regular like his parents, which means like me. This is why they went from saying the blacker the berry, the deeper the roots, to now my skin is my sin, the darker the skin, the deeper the sin. This is where you get caste and colorism from. And then you trying to figure out how racism came to be. White folks comes from albinoism, the recessive genes, and the devoid of melanin. Eumelanin, not pheno. They have melanin, but they have phenomelanin. They don't have the melanin that will help them survive in harsh summer weather. So they take melanin in different forms, which is actually on the market worth more than gold right now. Did you know that? See, it's always been about you. But when you don't know certain things, you can't break certain curses. So I'm here to help you. Because if we're going to tell the truth, we're going to tell the whole truth. So now we have the offspring of Jacob, Israelites, and then you have the offspring of Esau, Edomites. So as I'm telling the story in the true form, who you think is the villain and who's the victim? It says Jacob wrestled with an angel of God. And the angel just touched the socket of his hip, and his hip came out of the socket and he was limping. He wrestled with a form of God. But his name ended up having to change to line up with the promises. Because there was promises that he ended up getting because of certain contractual agreements that was made. That whole Bible ain't nothing but contractual agreements from the front of the page to the last of the page. It's all about you knowing who you're making these agreements with. Because you done made some agreements. Those of you who are wondering why you keep tithing over and over again and you're barely able to pay your bills. How come your dreams never materialize? How come? It's because you're under an Old Testament curse. You don't want to hear this type of teaching, but I'm going to tell you so you can get free. The house nigga is the preacher. They're going to keep preaching to you to make you feel good. Remember, I told you when the children of Israel was in the wilderness, their flesh itched for something to worship. I didn't say they soul. I didn't say they spirit. Their flesh itched for something to worship. They were used to that. We need something tangible. Something we can see. Something we can touch. The Bible also says that when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, some of the Egyptians went with them. Some of them went because they were converted because of the miracles of the plagues that they seen, and some of them were agents. Case in point, there was a man named Korah that came out with them. He was I believe he was half Egyptian, half Israelite, according to his bloodline. Nevertheless, he was definitely an agent of demonic chaos because he tried to sow discord amongst the children of Israel while they were in the wilderness, and he became such a thorn in everybody's side that the earth itself actually opened up and swallowed him and his entire bloodline. So his bloodline died while in the wilderness. All right. The reason why I'm saying this is because as y'all move out, yeah. As you move out from this old way of thinking, you're moving into a new timeline where you're not going to recognize yourself because it's going to be so much upgrading. You're not going to be able to keep up with what's going on. It's going to be so much. You're in your winning season. You're going to be going into your winning season. But you best be careful. Because as you walk out of your old into your new, make sure you don't bring no chorus with you. Some of y'all are going to have to cut off and go no contact with family, friends, everybody. Some of y'all are not going to be able to bring nobody, not even your kids. Do you hear me? And I ain't talking about no little boy. I'm talking about grown ass ones. The ones who follow you everywhere you go and they don't want to live on their own because they really don't want no responsibility. I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about the ones who go out there in the world and have to come back and regroup. Because I had to come back. Did I want to come back? No. I had no choice. It was either that or homelessness. Things happen. But I'm telling you, you're moving from one space to another. I'm not even here to tell you new levels, new devils, because that's not even in my spirit. I don't feel that. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Let me tell you, we moving into such a timeline where that new level, new devil mess don't even matter. Demons have to bow and obey. That's where I'm at. I don't know where you at. But I'm not even subscribing to the new level, new devil mess. They answer to me anyway. And I'm not saying that to flex. I respect the spiritual realm and I know what time it is. You understand? I am talking about making sure your place is secure. Making sure that the seats at your table have names etched in them. Because you are going to have to count your numbers. But it's going to in order for you to get there, you have to come out of the old. So we know Gemini was the twins. Esau and Jacob. This is a call to repentance, by the way. All right. Those of us who are of the lineage of Jacob, we need to repent to the children of Esau. Whether these is white people or not, I don't care. We all mixed up at the end of the day. I'm Creole. So people say, well, yeah, everybody want to be everything but black. No, it's the truth. A lot of us are mixed up like mutts. It's okay. Even in our starseed lines, a lot of us are mutts. It's fine. But to make sure, like Christ said, when Satan came, he found nothing in me. He found nothing of himself in me. See, this is why people in your family is still able to push your buttons. Because that unhealed part in you is the unhealed part in them, and they recognize it. Uh-oh. So this is why your family been cutting up with you. Because you've been sitting back healing. And you've been healing, watch this, the door open. The doorway that they could get in and press your buttons with. Yeah, you closing that door slowly and surely, and they mad. And so now, when they come and push your buttons and they get no reaction, they pissed. You know why? Some of them are thinking about resorting to physically putting their hands on you because they ain't got no way to push your buttons no more because you didn't heal it. So now God is saying, let me move you. And I ain't talking about Yahweh. I'm not talking about the God that kept you stuck. I'm not talking about the God that you had to sacrifice so many bulls and all this other stuff to appease. I'm not talking about this bloodthirsty God that you could not make this person happy. I'm not talking about Enlil energy. We are under, if you follow me and following what I'm saying, the only contract you should be under or getting ready to get up under is the contract of love. That's where everything is fulfilled. It's not done away with. It's fulfilled. This is where you get your true sovereignty from. People are looking for freedom. No, baby. Sovereignty is where it is. Because there's freedom in your sovereignty. You can be free and still bound. How you think some people that's in jail feel more free than you, and you can run around here? You can go to the store if you want to. You ain't got somebody telling you when to eat, poop, and pee. They do, but they feel more free because they went within. When you stop thinking that God is a man and the pie in the sky, you get yours by and by, you going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are going to have to break away from your family altogether because they are not trying to come out of this old way of thinking. You know, they say time is linear. I was telling my client today on the phone, I said time is non-existent. We know that. We've said that a lot. But follow me here. Now we just came out the age of Pisces in 2019 and we're in the age of Aquarius. Now you see, I wrote it down. I have Capricorn here, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Now, if we are moving forward, why did we just move backwards? Why have we been moving backwards in this whole timeline? Huh? You know why? Because in order for us to move backwards, we have to move forward. We literally are in the wheel in the middle of the wheel. You know Ezekiel's wheel? We are moving in every direction all at once. You know why I say that? Because we're coming into something that's called Merkaba. Yeah. Spirit, light, body. There's an activation that is taking place that you have never seen across any time, space, realm, or dimension in this. I'm talking about here on earth. Not even the days of Christ have seen this. I will pour my spirit out on all flesh. And your sons and your daughters is going to be prophesying. This is where we're at. Your spirit light body is being activated. This is why this ascension is so high. But see, you got to come out of this old way of thinking. Didn't Christ even say it in the New Testament? Let thy eye be single and that body full of light. When you open your third eye correctly, and your aim is full nirvana, which is the perfect state of bliss and enlightenment, your Buddha state, your body then becomes full of light. This is where you can do the metaphysics in the physical. This is why he said, those who gonna be coming after me gonna do these works and greater works they shall do. He wasn't lying. The Muslims do not look at him as the Messiah. They look at him as a prophet sent by Allah. They're not lying. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Is it? Okay. So you want to know, where was the age of Aries, right? This is the age of Aries. Now, watch this. Christ was born on the cusp. Christ was born on the cusp of Aries and Pisces. Okay? The sacrificial lamb, or the ram in the bush, is Christ. Pisces is 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. The 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. The 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. He was feeding them water and earth. He was prepping, he was an Aries, prepping the Piscean age, that the children of Pisces would birth the enlightened ones, or the fiery ones, or the seraphim, to come and solidify the age of Aquarius. That's us. You know them 70s, 80s babies? Some of them babies, listen to me. Okay, all right. Here we go. So in Matthew 24, the disciples is asking Christ, how do we know when the end of the age is? And he says, in one of the first 4 books of the New Testament, he says, when you see the man with the pitcher go on top of the roof, he was talking in celestial astrology language. He was saying, when the Aquarian has the pitcher of water and is pouring the water from above, from the roof, down below. See, some of their houses had holes in the top. Okay? Don't ask me why he's pouring water from on top of the roof, from a hole in the roof down into the ground. I don't listen. That's how they had their aqueducts or whatever set up in some of them regions back then. But nevertheless, he was saying this is when you see it. He said, this is how you're going to know when the end of the age is. It's going to be Aquarius. Pisces is not going to be here. I'm going to give you something to sustain you in the time of Pisces. I'm an Aries, born on the cusp of Aries and Pisces, because I'm the sacrificial ram. By the way, it was red rum. It was red rum. We can paint that all. You can sing your little songs of worship all day long. You want to all Sunday long. At the end of the day, that man was unalived. Let's call it what it is. And stop glamorizing this man's death. Because he came to save me. Why are you still the same? If he came to save you, why you still causing hell and toxicity in your family then? You tell me. It's still a choice at the end of the day. He was a blueprint like many other messiahs were. And of course, you always have someone who comes with discord to disrupt unhealthy patterns. Any of your messiahs that you can rattle off in any timeline, even outside of the Bible, true messiahs always brought change through chaos. They'll teach you about Martin Luther King, but they want you to shut up about Malcolm X, don't they? Preach about Harriet Tubman, but don't say nothing about Nat Turner. Yeah, we in that energy though, ain't we? I'm here to activate your ass for sure. It's about to be a bunch of Nat Turners after I'm done with this live. Because it's been time. There's a regime that needs to be annihilated, and it goes beyond skin color. Just to let you know. Anybody who is anointed and appointed by God, a true chosen one, they don't start off popular. They're always hated. They're lone wolves. They're not liked. They say unpopular stuff. They go against the grain. They challenge the status quo. And here you are claiming, oh, I'm a chosen one. No, you're not. You couldn't be chosen if you wanted to. All that karmic debt you need to pay off. If it hurts, say ouch. If it don't, just say amen. Some of y'all may not fit this narrative, but we're going to let it be known where you sit. Some of y'all don't have a ticket to the banquet. And some of you do, and you just need to recognize your power. Because I'm here to activate you. And if I got to aggravate you in order to activate you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But in love, it's going to get done. Because that's one of my callings. You ain't got to like me, but you will respect me. I don't give a damn about your likes. It doesn't move me. Nope, doesn't. I don't care. I'm not here to be liked by you or anybody else. If you like me and it's true, it's a plus. Thank you. I love you even if you don't. I'm here for a purpose and a mission. And I promise you, I am not going to leave this earth until every single last stone is turned over. I have spent many lifetimes training for this. And so have some of y'all. So we're going to get up on this thing because it only gets more stranger from here. You are being initiated to be activated so that you can be elevated. You cannot do these things for others until you yourself have went through this. They start Jesus's ministry from the age of 30 up until the age of Ascended Master number 33. They skip his childhood up until 30 because he was in Egypt learning ancient esoteric mysteries and initiations. He was being initiated on how to shadow walk, shape shift, how to manipulate the molecular structures of physical energies, how to decrystallize and crystallize things. This is the type of teachings that he learned. He had to learn how to cast illusions and deceptions in order for him to recognize them. Y'all don't want to hear this kind of teaching. But see, I went into the esoteric books. I know what I read. I know some of this stuff. You got to go out beyond what they selling, at Walmart. This ain't in them 66 books, babies. You need to read the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of Thomas. You need to read the Gospel of Anna, who is the grandmother of Christ, who was the first one to prophesy of his coming. It was a woman. Oh, yeah, and by the way, every time you see a Messiah making a change, there's always a woman somewhere in the deal. Yeah. Some of your most prominent and important divine feminines are in the direct bloodline of Christ, but you don't hear a lot of people preaching that. Yeah. Ruth, Boaz, begat Obed. Obed is the father of Jesse. Jesse is the father of David. David is the father of Solomon. We can keep going on and on until we get to Mary. But Mary and Joseph was kin. Did you know that? Now some of you gonna say, well, Mary and Joseph didn't have sex. She had sex by, she got pregnant by immaculate conception. If you don't get your ass out of here with that, this is one of probably going to be one of the most controversial things that I say on here. I take a deep breath, because some of y'all it's gonna take. It's gonna be hard for y'all to wrap your minds around this one. Christ is born of a man and a woman, just like you and I. Okay. Not only is Christ born of a man and a woman like you and I, but art does imitate life, because Dan Brown, who was the creator of the book, The Da Vinci Code, whose book was turned into a movie, talked about tracing the bloodline of Christ. And what do you know? They found the offspring to be a woman. They don't want you to know that Christ was tapping that ass and got a bloodline on the earth. Do you really believe that a man that powerful would do all that work and not leave a seed in the earth? Are you kidding me? You really believe that, when it was so many other messiahs like him before him that left seeds in the earth? So we can believe that Moses had kids, but we can't believe that Christ had kids? We don't believe that he was actually born of a man and a woman? Do you know the reason? Oh my God. Do you know the reason why they lied about immaculate conception of Christ? To be able to explain the metaphysicals that he was able to render while he was here. It was unexplainable. There is a woman, watch this. There was a woman who created a church in Sedona, Arizona called the Chapel. It's one of the most visited churches in the United States. When she first created that chapel, the way she seen the cross that she was going to make it, she made it this. She got the cross, the huge cross made outside of that chapel church. It was Christ on the cross, but Christ was depicted in alien form. People were so offended by it that eventually she had to take it down. She had to take the actual body of the Christ thing, the emulation of Christ, off. What am I saying here? This whole book is about aliens, my guy. This whole book. This is talking about starseed races and bloodlines. Well, how do you know, Rafiki? You explain to me how one of the mighty men of David slew two lion-like men. Look it up. It says that one of the mighty men of David was so badass, when he was fighting, he literally slew hybrid men. Half lion, half man. It says it in there. So we have Lyrians walking. Yes. This is the only book that don't talk about dinosaurs, but they talk about dragons. Dragons is mentioned in every culture in the world, including Asian. Russians even have knowledge of hieroglyphs and petroglyphs of dragons. But yet, we want to believe in this dinosaur theory. Do I believe that there were very huge animals? Yes. But the dinosaur theory is it's making you not see the whole world of true dragons. But yet this stuff is mentioned. Unicorns. Y'all just, oh, she's going crazy. No, it's mentioned in several cultures. Real live things. But they have painted this stuff as if it's fantasy, and it is not. It is very important that you understand this, because I'm teaching you how to look at a lie from the truth. The reason why they made it seem like it was an immaculate conception is because the Council of Nicaea felt that it would be better. Now, if you don't know who the Council of Nicaea is, they're a very wicked council. They are the reasons why you don't have the esoteric books in your 66 Bible. Okay? When I say 66 Bibles, because there's 66 books in the Bible that you can buy out of the store. The close you're going to come to an esoteric Bible is a Catholic Bible that includes the Apocrypha. Now, I have that type of Bible. I have an Apocrypha with the book of Tobit and Maccabees, 1st and 2nd Maccabees. I have all of that. I've read that shit. I know about all of that. But then you have other books like the book of the and book of Edo the Seer and other books that you can't really find. That's in old ancient libraries or knowledge that has to be orated or passed down orally. Okay? They didn't want you to know that you could tap into this energy. If we made Christ look like he came from God himself, it would make people believe in God as someone in the sky that you have to look up to, because that would make you, watch this, be codependent on a priest, because you are taught that priests stand in the gap between you and God. Catholics still till this day, when they make their confession, Father, I have sinned, they go to them. They don't go in their prayer closet in their room and pray and just talk. They don't want you to understand that divinity is within and not outside of you. So we have to make him look like he's the only one that can come like that. Because if we don't, and they find out that this powerful ass man came from a man and a woman, they're going to know that he was telling the truth, that they're going to do greater works. Okay. So Joseph, well, how do you explain, Rafiki? He said he was going to put her away because she was betrothed with child. Okay, listen to me. Back in those days, it was tradition and custom for when a man took a wife. Listen to me, okay? Because some of y'all need to be doing this so we can keep down all this unnecessary pregnancies and stuff. Before the man could sleep with his wife, he had to marry her. They would take a white sheet. The family of the wife would take a white sheet, give it to the couple, and have them lay it on the bed. They would then have sex. She would bleed on there. After they were done consummating the marriage physically, he would go outside and show blood on the white sheet. Watch this, as a token to show his family and her family, I was the first one to have her. The reason why this was important is because, watch this, a part of your divinity as a woman is given to the first man you sleep with. Oh! This is why you got to call back your power and you got to break soul ties. But you don't hear me though. Because see, the word virgin does not mean someone who has not had sex yet. The origin, go back to the origins. The Greek and the Hebrew origin of the word virgin means a girl who has reached the age of marriage. Ain't got nothing to do with her hymen being broken. I have studied this. I'm not telling you nothing I didn't study. This is why it is important for you to choose who you're going to lay down and get down with. Because you might not be able to get up after that. There are some people, men and women, who make it about their business to be the detriment of somebody's life. Because they have been broken over and over again. And they feel like they're beyond repair. So they make it about their business to just decimate people's lives through sex. Uh-oh. If I'm going to give cows, because remember, wealth was different back then than it is now. If that man's daddy is going to give your daddy $30 million for your hand in marriage, you best come with your hymen intact. Listen, that's the surface of it. That's the surface of it. This is why you got unhealed men saying they don't want a woman with kids. Yet, they ass got a slew of babies everywhere. They try to use your sexuality against you to make it seem like a woman is spoiled. Virginity and all of that ain't got nothing to do with that. Joseph and Mary were so in love, they could not wait until they got married. She got pregnant with that baby, and he was not going to be able to explain why there was no blood on that white sheet. He was not going to put her away, in other words, get rid of her. He was going to hide her because in those traditions, women got stoned and killed for that shit. Are you following me? Just the way that he was conceived was not normal for those days. So you see, he was already destined, not even before birth, but on conception, to be different. Some of you, you're not supposed to be here. The pregnancy was different than your siblings. Some of you, your mama was sitting on that abortion table and she walked out at the last minute. Some of them tried to do a homemade abortion and it didn't work. Some of y'all, watch this, your parents didn't even know they was pregnant with you until she spit you out because she wasn't even showing. She was still having her cycle and everything. Some of you, your parents got into a car accident and you live. I know my mama got in a car accident when she was pregnant with me. Some of y'all was preemies, born hanging between life and death. And you wonder why you got the power over life and death like you do. Baby, you wasn't here to fit in. And you're not everybody's cup of tea. And you may not even be people's cup of coffee. You're here for a reason. You're here to be different. You're here to stand out. This is why your life is not falling in place like you should. Because you're so busy trying to fit in. Honey, you were not made or created to fit in. There is no round or square hole for your peg to fit in. You are a star. The board only has circles and squares. You fit in the sky because that's where you come from. And quiet as it's kept, if you really want to just tell the truth, Christ wasn't all the way Hebrew. Oh my God. Ooh, I hurt somebody's feelings, didn't I, when I said that? Oh. Okay, let's go back. You know the story about the walls of Jericho, right? Them marching around the walls of Jericho, right? Remember that? Remember that? They always tell you that, yeah, on the seventh day they shouted and the walls came tumbling down. But you see, nobody really preaches or teaches about Rahab. You know who Rahab is, huh? The little whore prostitute that helped the spies of Israel, who was the only one who was spared because she helped the children of God. Well, she is like the great 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 grandmammy of Jesus, and she's a Canaanite. She ain't no damn Hebrew. Moses was not married to a Hebrew woman. He was married to, I believe, an Ethiopian. His sister got mad and was trying to basically shame him for going outside of his race and marrying her, and God struck her with leprosy. Leprosy is not a disease that has your fingers and your hands and your toes falling off. It's vitiligo. How do you know Rafika is vitiligo? Well, because the Bible says that her skin turned white as snow. Bloop. But yet you believe these lies of leprosy is something that eats your fingers and toes away and shit. That's not true. Vitiligo is leprosy. So you see, when you do your research and you find these things to be true, this all boils down to contracts, contractual agreements. The contractual agreement was made. Watch this. Someone put up a prayer to deliver my people. Let my people go. The story of Moses, aka Moshe, he was an infiltrator. The daughter of Pharaoh could not have kids. So here comes this baby, which Moses name Hebraically is Moshe, which means drawn from the water or from the reeds. She finds him, raises him. How in the hell did you not see that your daughter wasn't pregnant? But I digress. Raises this baby as her own. She knows he's a Hebrew child because what he's swaddled in is a Hebrew blanket. Why? How do we know it was a Hebrew blanket? Because it had shawls on it. Shawls, the little things, right? Because they were fringes. They were told to wear certain types of clothing that would distinct them from the rest of the world. So these people would know who their God was. See, you knew who worshipped what by what they wore and how they carried themselves. Sometimes what region of that area they lived in. Now watch this. Why, I'm going to pose this question to you. Why did God make one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not have any other gods before me? Now this is going to be the most important part of this video. Then I'm gone. If y'all want to ask questions, we can. Why do y'all think that? Why did God say, watch this, if there's no gods like these people preach, and there's only one God, why was it so important for God to emphasize that there was no other gods before them? Listen, I'm not talking about gods that people make out of wood, stone, and wax. I'm not talking about that. There are gods that are mentioned in the Bible that weren't made of stone, wood, and wax, saints. There was more than one energy. Look at it like this. Look at it like this. Here we are down here, living our lives. Go and shake that ass at the club. Shake that ass at the mall. Or go shake that ass at the grocery store. Or go shake that ass. I mean, you just living your life, right? You're just living your life. And little do you know, there is a conglomerate of energies fighting for your attention. Because your attention is your energy, and your energy is their lifeline, which keeps them alive. Uh-oh, we're going somewhere. How do gods die? Gods die when they're forgotten. There's an African proverb, and I've said this before on the live before. What's worse than death is to be forgotten. When you are not remembered, that is the second death. That is the eternal death. You are wiped away from history, therefore you're wiped away from the present and the future. So you're wondering, why is it so important? And why are these energies trying to get your attention? Because they're trying to keep going. Even energy has to transmute, change, or go somewhere else. This is why across all these cultures, you have one God named this, and this will be the same God, but it's named something different. And something in the story may change, right? Like you have Artemis here, but she's Minerva over here. Right? You may have Apollo over here, but you have Helios over there. Or Ra over there. Right? You got Isis over here. It's Osset over here, but it's something else over there. Right? You understand? It is like the movie Coco. And I always told y'all to keep, look at what these people be telling you in these movies, especially these kiddie movies, because they be telling you truth. You just got to know where to place the puzzle piece. They give you a piece of the puzzle, because that's the rules to the chess game. These gods have certain rules. They got to give you the truth. The way they give it to you sometimes is packaged up in an enigma, in a riddle, in an enigma, in another riddle, in a parable, whatever. But it's you have to unravel it. Some of y'all, it comes in like Scrabble. You got to know how to put the word pieces where they fit to make a word. But nevertheless, they have no choice but to give you the truth. Okay? They have to give you the truth. But anyway, these gods are looking for your attention. They're vying for your attention. And so some of these gods will prove to you their power for you to make pacts with them. If I deliver you from this, then you're going to do this for me. That's all that was going on in the Old Testament. Now remember, I told you in the beginning to remember that the word Elohim is plural. Elohim is plural, and it's not a name, it's a title. God is not a name. God is a title. Anybody can get up on anybody's stage, win an award, and thank God. Bitch, that don't move me. What God are you talking to? I need you to be specific. Because you got people who listening to your music and following you. And they think you talking about God. God that's loving and kind. You over here talking about some bloodthirsty motherfucker. And we need to distinguish between the two. It's a lot of them folks out there talking about I thank God. That should not move you. Cause a singer or a rapper drops the word God and you get in your feelings. That's like a preacher hawking and spitting on the microphone because they moving you by your emotions, not your spirit. Because if you was tapped into your spirit and not led in your emotions because your emotions is not healed, you wouldn't be jumping. You will see past all of that power and see how he over here molesting children while he up there preaching. Or got a slew of babies, and that's the reason why the first lady keeps looking like she coming to church every morning with puffy eyes because she got through crying. She in a marriage that she feel like she can't get out. And here you are, oh, you look good, your hat, you look... Shut up! Some of these people ain't gonna call them their gods by name. Because they don't want you to know they some devil worshippers. And I'm not talking about demons that you was told demons. I'm talking about real demon shit. Real demonic stuff. Don't go by popular what you think is demons. Some of these things that you learn, you need to switch it. Some of these things was taught to you backwards on purpose. Some of these things that you think is heavenly ain't. Some of these things you think is demonic is not. There's a such thing that's called righteous goons and another thing that's called necessary evil. They both exist. There are agents of light that are false. Anything that's requiring me to bow down and worship them and give my all to them and giving me breadcrumbs, that ain't God. That is not God. And I don't know about y'all, but see, I was a preacher's kid. And I learned God through my parent, not parents. Because see, my daddy didn't play that. My daddy was a man of the earth. He was not, listen, my daddy was not book smart because he only had a 5th grade education. But my father knew how to speak to the earth. I learned certain things from him when it came to the earth. My daddy was very street smart. And he was a hustler. And I'm not talking about hustling people out of money. When you say hustler, I'm talking about had a self-motivation about himself. My daddy was that man. I get that from my dad. My mother was book smart and intelligent. That's what I get from her. At the best of both worlds. But he didn't play that. He didn't play that church shit. My daddy was never into that church stuff. You understand? I come from the offspring of Cain and Seth. I am a day walker. That's my bloodline. And I don't need to hide that. You understand? Some of y'all want to be 100% angelic order so bad. I don't know why. So some of y'all may have been born into whatever lineage and starseed lineages for you to heal it. Some of us may be walking around here with some of the most darkest Anunnaki blood ever known to man. But you were born in that bloodline to heal. Because there's been so much damage since the beginning of time. Okay, here we go. I embrace all of me. I used to fight some of this. I embrace all of me. There is a Native American story. You become what you feed. We all are born with 2 wolves. Some of you who are who like to be felines. You're born with two cats. You got one that feeds on blood and it is ruthless, and then you got the other one that is kind and nurturing. Whichever one you feed is the one that's gonna show up. Sometimes you need to feed that ruthless. If you learn how to listen, this is one of the reasons why when you master yourself, you become God. This is the whole reason why the book of Genesis was convoluted with the Adam and Eve story. The serpent, who basically was Inky in another form, was telling them, you will become like God. In other words, you will get a knowledge that will help you master. And some people say, well, they didn't have to master it if they weren't aware of evil and good. Let me tell you something. You on this earth, eventually, you're going to know something. Something that tries to keep you naive to things. Now, there's a time where your guides and your ancestors will keep you naive and ignorant of certain things to keep you safe. That's different. Okay? That's different. Follow me here, because sometimes things happen for certain reasons. But when you got something that is trying to keep you totally ignorant and they don't want you to know anything, they just want you to do what it's telling you to do, you need to be questioning everything. Remember, the Anunnaki story is older than Genesis. Remember, they were creating a race of people, or humans and humanoids, to mine the monatomic gold that was in the earth. So the origins, the creation story according to the Anunnaki story is they came here already on earth and found a humanoid being. Was not quite human, but wasn't all the way animalistic. They had the qualities that looked similar to this, but was not this in this form. The bodies that we have are upgraded forms of our ancestors, those humanoids of old. They kept splicing the DNA to get it right, but somewhere along the timeline of them creating servants, aka humans, there was a race of people created called the Azizi, I-Z-I-Z-I. These Azizi people, this is where you get more than one Adam and Eve story, okay? They became a race of people that ended up rebelling against the Anunnaki. They were told that they were wiped out, but they weren't all the way wiped out. They went into hiding. This is where you get some of the people who went towards the edges of the earth to get as far away from where they were as possible. And then you go, watch this, and then you go from the Azizi people to eventually the people who didn't rebel, who didn't ask questions, the servants. So you see, even in the beginning, it was always some kind of slavery going on. And you have Enlil, who wanted to kill off or unalive the race of people after the monatomic gold would be harvested. And then you have Enki, who ended up falling in love with the creation and wanted to spare them. Okay? But in between that, these are two brothers who don't care for each other. The Great Deluge, aka the Flood, is the institute. It started because of Enlil. Okay? Enki would be the one who gave Noah what to do. Okay, he gave him the download on what to do. All right. Now, when it talks about God searching the earth for a perfect person, and the reason why, and it tells you, it says the reason why Noah was spared by God is because God found him to be perfect. It was not perfect in, because Noah was a drunkard, by the way. Let's just get that straight. He's not talking about perfect in the way he act. He was talking about perfect in bloodline. Because remember, around this time, the Nephilim, or fallen angels, the sons of God, the offspring of the Anunnaki, with Anunnaki women and men, came here, found that the women of these humans, the girl offspring of these humans were fine, started having sex with them and was having hybrid children. Okay? You understand? Thank you, Cynthia. Many blessings to you. Thank you for your donation. When that happened, okay, when they said giants was in the land, the Nephilim, giants were in the land. Giants were the offspring of Nephilim. They sinned against every manner of humans and beasts. So where you get your great white sharks, that's that's the splicing of DNA Anunnaki. Remember, these beings are very tall. They're not short. They're not small. Okay, these are huge beings. If you pay attention to the hieroglyphs in Egypt, the Egyptian hieroglyphs, you see how they got some of these people like bowed and somebody sitting on the throne. Then you got some people that's standing up. Don't pay attention to the gestures. Pay attention to who's small and who's little, who's big and who's little in those hieroglyphs. And it'll show you who was gods and who was humans. Do you hear me? It wasn't about his heart being lighter as a feather, Echo. It was not. That wasn't it. It was bloodline. Noah was the one whose children had not yet been intertwined with fallen angel blood. That's what that was about. It was about pure races of human. Listen, the goal as far as Enlil and whoever was on his team was concerned was to keep a race of docile humans, a pure race of docile humans. The more Anunnaki blood, the more they will find out. Okay? The more advanced they will eventually become. Because you have to understand, outside race from that's not earthly evolves. This is why there is prophecy after prophecy talking about the white buffalo and the evolution of humans. Because their DNA caused us to have to. They was trying to keep a pure race so that they can keep a docile race on the earth. Makes you wonder why our black folks, all we do shuck, jive, sing, dance, and play some kind of ball, huh? I hate to say this, but it's true. See, some of us, we oh man, we feel so bad. Well, I'm not talking about people's talents, but it just makes you wonder, how come they'll fight us to excel in every other place, in every other area, except the entertainment industry. Haven't we shucked and bucked and tap danced long enough? Don't you think? Huh? They let you have power in them little entertainment areas, but they will fight you tooth and nail. And the ones that they do let get up, they end up being an agent. But y'all want to hear that though. But these things are the truth. So I come to make you uncomfortable. I come to make you think. Because it's time out for us. We have to come out of what we've been taught as truth and perpetuating these lies to be truth to our children. I refuse to feed my kids lies. And if I have, I repent, and I have repented. And I'm going to do the best I can to make up the time with the truth. Because I myself am a truth seeker, and I'm a truth bringer, and I'm a truth bearer, and I'm a truth teller. That's what's going to get us by in these next coming times. Seems like every time God tries to wipe everybody out, their son that go to the underworld and pop up again later, starting the evil all over again. And it's different this time because we've reached a certain threshold. The earth itself is not even supporting the evil agenda anymore. So you literally have to evolve or die. There is no other way. There is no other way. This is why you're getting ready to hear, if you have not already, people's harmful magic backfiring on them. There are people literally leaving magic alone in the droves. They can't touch it no more. They can't even, not even a thought of trying to burn a candle to hurt or harm somebody because it's backfiring that hard. That's why you're getting ready. Listen, y'all remember years and years and years ago, they were talking about these trains that was transporting coffin liners. Y'all remember that? Years and years and years ago. They was on that depopulation agenda then. And y'all was wondering how and why. Well, that was in the early 2000s. Y'all remember that, right? And then here, the Rona comes in 2020. So I'm going to remind you again, because I said it before. See, your enemies have something that you don't have. It's called patience. They'll show you a glimpse of what they about to do 20, 30 years before they do it. And you thought that they was just going to have armies come down the streets and just start slaughtering people and going in people's houses and stuff. No. The war, that war has been called. It's been called through the pharmacia, and it's been called through electronics. You remember we used to read Behold the Pale Horse on here. Before the woman who has the rights to the publishing flagged my video. That was one of our best lives we did on that. And let me just tell you something. We're bringing a Mystic Book Club. That was something I was thinking about before even somebody had even said that. The person who said that only confirmed what I had been feeling in my spirit. And somebody told me the other day that I should do that. So we are going to be bringing a Mystic Book Club, but it ain't going to be on YouTube. Because I see how they do. They want to flag and play all of that other shit. No, we're going to do a book club here. I'm also, God willing, I'm most likely going to bring my podcast back. So we can call in and have dialogue, multi-log. Because this is what it's about. It's not about just me talking to y'all on this camera. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I can't wait for the day that I'm able to be on this live and press a button, like see how y'all, the princess, Cynthia, 7 grams, Kyra, Echo, Tangi. I can't wait till I can press this, and then when it comes up and it says actions, that I could put in a live. I'm waiting on the day that YouTube function where I can add y'all to my live, where we can sit here and talk and have multi-log. Because I want to hear what the people got to say. Because some of y'all got a boatload of knowledge sitting, waiting for it to come out. I want to help you get it out. I ain't scared here. I'm very secure in who I am. Ain't got to be no jealousy over here. I know if it takes a village to raise a child, it's going to take a nation to come up out of this. And trust me, the nation has already got the memo. It's a lot of us walking around in the dark with oil in our lamps. We're just waiting on God to tell us to light it. They told you, work while it is day, because when night comes, no man can work. Well, it's night. But some of us are children of the night. And we've been called for such a time as this. Don't think God is so narrow-minded. People box God. People make God look narrow-minded. God is a vast God. You don't think God got goons? I'll help you understand. For my Christian witches, I'll continue with my Bible theory. I'm going to ask questions, then I'm out of here. I'm going to take questions, and then I'm going to get out of here. The Bible says that after Christ hung his head and died, he went to hell and preached for 3 days and told them, I'm coming out of hell with all power in my hand. And then when you go to the book of Revelations, it says that Christ came out of hell with the keys to hell itself and death itself. Now, if Christ came out of hell with the keys of hell and death and said you were going to do greater works than he, what kind of power do you think you have? This is why I'm telling y'all, I'm not scared of no demons. I work with them. I know who they are. And I know demons ain't what people done told you. You know, in the Islam faith, there's two types of demons. One of the two is called shadim. Remember, I told you the I am is plural. So I can keep going on and on. It's so many rabbit holes with this. Mystic members, I've been taking my time because I want y'all on that crown chakra. Because see, you're entering mystic school this week. So I'm going to need y'all to be on top of y'all game. Because these things are going to show you what category of mission you fall in. Because I'm very well aware that not all of y'all are green or white witches. Some of y'all are not. Some of y'all are called for certain other areas that I'm not going to say here on this live. So I'm getting ready to give you physical things to do to place you. If you're not on the Mystic membership, don't ask questions about Mystic membership. They know what I'm talking about. Anybody has any questions or anything y'all want to say before I get up out of here? I am done with my teaching. I am so glad I got that out of my system. I'm so glad I got that out of my system because, child, ooh, that thing was boiling up in my spirit. Shut up like fire in my bones. Woo. How do people get that panel to where you get a bunch of people on the screen? Echo, you know what? It has been a dream of mine to have a panel of esoteric readers and teachers. And I will pre-screen them because I'm not for the ego shit. Like, there's nothing wrong with ego. Ego has its place when it's healthy. But that unhealthy ego shit, like, you know, and I ain't trying to get no popular ones either. I'm trying to get the ones that's overlooked because it's them ones that be damn libraries walking around just like, you know, for years I've been seeing it in my mind's eye. And I know somebody's watching this and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to do the first, blah, blah. You could try to do it all you want, but you ain't going to do it like me. So do what the fuck you think you can do, whatever. Because I know they be watching me and they always get their ideas from me or whatever, but I'm not scared of this. This is my baby. And you will never be able to pull it off the way I'm going to pull it off. So you can go ahead on somewhere with that and exit stage left and do whatever you want. And when it's not yours and you're trying to steal off of somebody, it never works out anyway. So it is what it is. But I know I will have that one day. I'm going to have an actual panel that is going to be filmed. And it's going to be, I want to do it where people can come in. You know how like an audience. That's how I want to do it. And I don't want to be like one of the teachers. I just want to be the one who runs the show. Like, I want to be able to be the one that, you know, is the mistress of ceremony. I want to be able to have them all, and I want to be like the interviewer and ask the questions and all of that. I want them to put their knowledge forth. I don't want to be the one to do all the talking, because I want to glean too, damn it. Shit, y'all act like I love learning. And the more I find out, the more I realize I don't know nothing. So, Echo. Yes, Sabrina. I guess I need to find some more apps or something. So, one of y'all said Discord. Look into Discord. Cause I want us to be able to, we do something else, but We haven't did it in a while, huh, Mystic members? How Epic Mystics? We need to do a come together one again, because we usually do that periodically. Anybody got questions before I get up off here? You said StreamYard. What is StreamYard? I'm about to look that up. Is that an app? StreamYard. I mean, I'll look it up, but I'm very picky about messing with technology. Yeah, 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 Echo. Echo says people themselves to this earth too, with their beliefs keeping them trapped and miserable. So I just want to let y'all know that y'all don't have to renew any contracts with any energies if y'all don't want to. You know, this old Godhead shit that kept you bound and praying Negro spirituals with little to no change, that shit was up in 2019. So I'm just letting y'all know that, you can't get out. You don't have to renew anything. Actually, if I were you, I would just sit into my sovereignty. And I'm an omniist. I've always believed, even when I was a child, I've always believed that every religion has some truth into it. It just became convoluted when man got a hold to that truth and was building their ego off of the truth that they did find. So, that's just kind of like, the Baptist people are the ones that were called to take you to the water and baptize you. It was never supposed to be a religious branch of the Christian faith. Methodists is the ones who gave you methods for certain solutions, because they were supposed to have been receiving certain downloads. But yet, of course, they made it into a religious branch of the Christian faith. Church of God in Christ was put. I've broke that one down already before. They were supposed to be one of the most powerful branches, because they were actually supposed to stay true to earth magic, God within, connecting to the source God energy outside of you, the God without. And that was the one that became one of the most tainted ones that we've seen thus far. So it's a lot, again, and there's other religions, not just Christianity, that ended up becoming convoluted. But again, just know that you had to come up underneath certain things to learn what you know now. Be grateful and thankful, because it served a purpose in your life. It taught you what it needed to teach you. You're here now, and it's time for you to move onward. Don't be afraid. You're going to feel weird at first. It's going to seem like you're sinning, like you're going to go to hell. But then you're going to find that this is where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be moving on and elevating and upgrading and learning. You can't upgrade staying the same. Technology is a portal. It's also a god. If you watch the American Gods, they was telling you that they're making technology into gods. And the people who are feeding off of it is the ones that you see spearheading it. Don't you see old boy taking them checks away? And them celebrities is pissed too. You mean to tell me anybody can use my name and they don't know it's not me because I don't have a blue check mark? He find that shit funny. He is trolling the hell out of that celebrity community. That man is trolling the mess out of them people. Do you hear me? Who the hell cares about it? I mean, it's 2023. At this point, if you care about that kind of status, if you care about that, you have not, you are definitely in your flesh. But it's my livelihood and it's my soul. Fuck what? So what? So what? If it means that much to you, create a YouTube channel so people can see that actually you. Or are you too good? You just want people to see when you got a special on CBS or a Schoolhouse Rock or some shit. Don't nobody care at this point. No one cares at this point. Your blue check mark, your green check mark, purple check mark, red check mark, black, we don't care. Let that man, listen. How do we get back the divinity we gave to the ones we slept with now that we know better? I think that's a great question. There are several ways. One, you call back your energy, okay, across all space times, realms, and dimensions. You call your energy back. My the way that I would treat it, and this is a shotgun approach, and this is probably one of the most effective ways on how to do it because it covers all bases. So think of any soul ties sexually and calling back your divinity like dealing with a vampire. The way you break the curse off of other vampires is you find the head vampire. If you can find the first vampire that made other vampires and you kill it, the curse will be broken off of everybody else and they will return back to normal, right? So you go and you think about the person that you first had sex with, whether they were good or bad. Don't even try to figure it out. Just call your power back. I call my power back now from, if you can't remember their name, just their face. And then you say, from all times, realms, spaces, and dimensions, I call my divinity back. I call my power back from this person. And I call it back clean and clear from any low vibrational energies. I call it back with love and light and life and my life force, my original life force. Okay? Unconvoluted life force. I give them their energy back. I send their energy back with light and love, that if they are in a low vibrational space, they will be brought to change. All right? Non-reversible, sealed. Once you do that, that energy is going to travel down that past line, that timeline, and start breaking all them other ones from there. Now, this is going to only work. This is the catch-22. This is the catch-22. This is only going to work if your mental game is that strong. This is pure intention. This ain't no candle burning. This ain't no wax rendering, herb sprinkling. This ain't, listen, this ain't that. This is pure intention. If you feel like you need to add pure intentions, get you a candle. Doesn't have to be a glass candle. It could be a taper candle. It could be, hell, it could be a little small ass tea light. It don't have to be nothing huge. Start from the beginning of a thing, because the beginning of a thing is always the root of a thing. Remember, when you plant a seed, you want to grow, you got to die to yourself. Seeds that don't grow don't die to themselves. You always got trace back to the beginning. This is why they keep messing with the history books. They trying to teach our kids that our offspring, that our ancestors was indentured servants. They weren't. They were prisoners of war. Let's get it straight. Indentured service, as if my people just willingly wanted their ass whipped while they was picking cotton. The hell is wrong with you? You are not about to erase the truth, because if we are still benefiting off of the curses, they're benefiting off of our energy from being cursed. So therefore, if we're still in it, you're going to have to pay for what we feel. But I didn't own no slaves. Yes, you did, motherfucker. You're just in a different body. Don't come here with that. We're all reincarnated. We're all recycled souls. So yes, you do have to pay until you make it right. I remember years ago, there was a white man who was traveling the whole of Africa, apologizing for the sins of his forefathers. And at first I felt bad, and I was like, no, that's dope as fuck. I was like, that's dope. That man did it for years. Do you hear me? Damn near travel. I think he did finish all 54 countries. That's all he did, was travel for years, apologizing. And I said, well, he need to bring his ass to America and do that, because I don't know why he over there doing that. We over here. We over there. You know, a Wikipedia page says that some of these African kings sold these people into slavery because they knew they wasn't of their own bloodline. Even there's a Wikipedia page that even says that. So you know, goddamn, anybody can edit Wikipedia. But if that they saying that over there, you know, doggone well, okay, you know, doggone well, something going on. But remember, they're supposed to give us the truth. You just got to figure out how it is, how is it packaged, okay? That's the name of the game. The truth is here. It might be hidden. It might look different, whatever. But so was that. I hope that helped you, Severin Speaks. Let me see. It's getting. Trust me, it's getting better and better. If you are where listen, if you are where I'm at, trust me, it only gets better from here. Yes, we're gonna have ups and downs, but it gets better from here, y'all. I'm telling you right now. I use it at times with another group who talks about the Bible and other things. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, Paula. Shit. Y'all, after this live is over, go into the comment section and give me some suggestions. Some of y'all said Discord, StreamYard. Some people are saying I don't, I'm not into this app thing, so I have to figure this stuff out. Right on time. God without is your higher self. God without outside of you would be the source, the universal energy called love. God within is you. God without is it is you in a higher energy. It is your higher being, because your higher being is always connected to the source. Because remember, spirit cannot be tainted, only your soul can. The fight is for your soul, because that's where your divinity is. Your spirit is divinity purified. Your spirit is divinity purified. Your soul is divinity personified. Okay? So the personality of your divinity can be tainted in what they call soul, your birthright. But your spirit, man, cannot be tainted. That's what's a part of the source. This is why they after the soul. I mean, they try to go after the spirit through the soul, but they can't. They feel like, some people feel like if they can taint your spirit, they can taint the universe, which means they can manipulate the universe. And that's like having a power that nobody has been known to have. But the truth is, they can't do that. The only person who would be able to do that is the one who created the universe. And most likely that would be a woman, because the universe is actually the womb of God. Because what I failed to mention when I was telling y'all the Anunnaki story was, everybody has been harping on Enlil and Enki. But nobody's asking how were these people created, right? If you're splicing DNA, who's the incubator? Anna. Anna, aka Anu, aka Inanna. The sister. The sister is who is birthing these hybrid humans. And she is the dark one, the divine feminine, that comes back to tell Enlil and Enki to shut the fuck up. She is the mother's milk, the Milky Way. That's the one that everybody's afraid of. This Black Madonna that they pray, that they're afraid of when she come back. When Christ said, I don't come to bring peace but a sword, it is her who he's prophesying about. That's another thing they don't want you to know. Christ is prophesying the next Messiah, which is a woman. And you have your many messiahs that came before her, like Joan of Arc, Tituba, that kind of thing. They don't want you to know that. And most likely she's going to come in the sign of an air sign, because the sword is justice. The sword is the justice card in the, believe it or not, the sword is the justice card in the major arcana. And justice is not supposed to be blind, but over time they made justice blind, holding the scales. But she's literally supposed to be sitting on the throne with a sword. So some of these cards you see justice sitting with a sword, That's because that's how she originally is. That's who Christ was prophesying about. That is the next Messiah. That is the Messiah. Lizzie Wink, this is off subject, but I have products that I bought a while ago and I screenshot the instructions, but I lost that phone and couldn't save. Is it possible? I don't get what you're saying, Lizzie. I don't get what you're saying, love. Can you word it differently or something? You said you bought products a while ago. You bought products for me, or you bought product like random products? I'm not getting it. Do you believe the first humans were vampires? I believe that the vampire race is an offspring of a specific race that feeds off of physical blood. There are certain races that feed off of your energy. They energy harvest you. That's the old regime that's dead. The powers that used to be but ain't. That's them. Then you have another starseed system, race of people. This is where you get the chupacabras from. Okay, chupacabras are not necessarily evil. They evolved from a star. They were a star race that crashed here. And in order for them to survive in this density, blood is what sustains them. And so the good ones learned how to, they learned how to distaste. They purposely grew a disdain for human hemoglobin for in exchange for cattle hemoglobin, if that makes any sense. So the first vampires come from that race of people who were, they were actually traveling through our, they were traveling through our system. They wasn't even thinking about stopping here. They ended up, something went wrong and they crashed here. And they're very small. They were never huge. They were small, but they ended up crashing here, and that's just the way their density, they couldn't handle this type of density, but them like Elvins ended up being persecuted by people that did not want to understand and that was afraid of them. And so they went underground, and some of them that chose not to go underground, they just became more vicious in order to survive. So this is where you get the ones who didn't care and they still feed off of human blood. And you got some of them who choose to go to blood banks and not, attack humans. They'll go to blood banks and get their blood. Some of them won't. They'll do cattle, and some of them don't even know that they the offspring of kids. That's why. Did y'all see my thing flicker? This is why some people like to eat their meat rare. Like you get some of them people who just like they'll have a frying pan hot as fuck, and they'll do this with their meat. Okay, time to flip it over. Okay, it's done. Oh, look how beautiful. And you like, it ain't, and it's bleeding. You like, it ain't done. Some of these people's blood type. When you hear some people say, I have to eat it medium rare, some of them people ain't lying. I know it sounds disgusting, but some of them people not lying. And some of these people don't even know why they feel like they have to eat their meat rare like that. But yeah, so me personally, I'm from one of the bigger hubs of vampire energy. Louisiana holds a very huge hub of vampires. There's a place in New Orleans. I think it's off of Royal Street. There's a vampire restaurant there. And they're real vamps. You could tell. They pale as fuck. Some of them are black. Some of them are mixed. Some of them, it's not just one race of people, y'all. Like, this shit is real. Every fairy tale, every fable, every kid's tale has a true origin somewhere. Hansel and Gretel, like, what was it called? Goldilocks. I'm sorry, Little Red Robin Hood. That's what I meant to say. Like those are real. Like there's origins behind that. So yeah, no. we've always had an ally with the vampire race. Mo, not all, but most black people here in the South, because we actually helped them hide. In Marie Laveau day, Marie Laveau, that was one of her strongest allies, because she saved one from a human. So they actually allied with her. See, they didn't put that in American Horror Story, because a lot of people don't know that. One of the reasons why Marie Laveau was so powerful is because she helped other races of people. She gained people's respect because she was helpful. You want to gain respect? Be helpful. Some of y'all are trying to rule with an iron fist. It ain't working in this day and age. We're in the age of Aquarius. Learn how to love, bitch. Respectfully. Yeah, so her bloodline, her lineage still has, to this day, they made a eternal pact. Her bloodline and the vampire lines made a pact. They would protect her line because that's how important she was to them, because she helped them. Yeah, yeah, Echo, you can flash the experience. Go ahead, Jules. I'm reading y'all stuff. I always consider people's bloodlines instead of the race. Sometimes the race is they're sometimes they people incarnate as a race to confuse you. You think you're talking to an old white man and you talking to an old superfly black mofo from the 70s. You think it reincarnated. That's why you get some of these people when they say, "Oh, she trying to act black." No, some of them people was black and they like, "Oh, you can't go over time." I used to think that too. I used to think that if you was black, you was always incarnating as black. That ain't necessarily true. Shit, some of y'all fine ass black men could have been an Española, riba riba woman shaking that booty in the 1800s. You don't know, because the Irish were here slave way before African Americans. I mean, I know that Irish people were enslaved alongside of us, but that was more of a, I hate to say it wasn't as harsh as ours. Some people say it was more of a servitude, but Irish people still got it bad because they were treated like trailer trash. What you don't understand is that redhead, the redhead gene in Irish people date to a specific melanated race in the earth. So Irish people, believe it or not all Irish people, some Irish people gel naturally well with blacks. Like, I will never forget, every time I would go somewhere with my brother when we used to hang out and there was an Irish person there, they always gravitated toward him like it was not, like, they always made an Irish friend somewhere, because they naturally gravitate toward where they offspring, where they come from. That's why I have a certain affinity for Irish people. I really do. I'm not lying. I'm not bullshitting. I really do. I have a certain place in my heart for Irish people. I think they are so freaking cool. Okay, let me see. Dang. Is there a food shortage coming? They trying to, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this. They are trying to harvest this off of fear. There is no such thing as a shortage. Okay, let's see. Okay, Paula, got you. Talking about StreamYard. What realm does our higher self live in? I don't know. You gotta find that out, Tangi. You gotta find that out. I can't. I mean, if spirit permitted for me to tell you, I would. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's your journey. You will find that out. That's a part of finding out, like, your soul tribe and different things like that. If the soul is balanced, you got both masculine and feminine balance. and your dark and light all working together. Of course. Of course. Of course. This is as close as we can get using all four of those to do God's will. Of course. If you ask me, I think this is all a simulation and we are Sims. Definitely true, Tangi. We are definitely Sims. We are Sims. We are. Make sure you take the trash. Only females can birth new. Exactly. I wonder if that's why man is trying to become woman. Of course. Justice still sees her third eye isn't covered. Of course, Paula. You're definitely correct with that one. Things that tie in later that make you think. Well, this is what backfires, right? So they thought that they could blind justice so they can be able to get away with doing with what they was, doing. But you're right, the third eye could see. But see, what they don't understand is justice has a direct connection to the Akashic records. So she's gonna let you blindfold her because she wants you to be comfortable in your evil doings. So by the time the blinders come off and she shows your nakedness, she's gonna let you know she already knew from the beginning because it was already written. So you're not doing something she already didn't know you was gonna do. She was just allowing you to get comfortable. You gotta be, you gotta be a very, woo, you gotta be a certain type of person to be able to have sex in public. Do you know how much ball, I'm talking about like how much I'm telling you, you gotta be a strange person to be comfortable to just be having intercourse in front of everybody out in the open. So that's where they say lady in the streets but a freak in the sheets. How people just turn into a whole nother being when they behind closed doors because can't nobody see nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just you and that person or whoever else y'all got involved. If you with that kind of thing. But the reason why I'm going that extreme is because that's how they've treated their wickedness. The cup of iniquity has already been full. It's running over. So we have the Great American Eclipse next year. I believe it 2024 or 2025. So judgment has already been rendered. The sweet smell of hell breaking loose. Don't you smell it? See, I'm laughing because I ain't the one who's going to be suffering. See, when you're on the right side of things, you don't have to worry about this kind of shit. These people think that they was going to die and that their offspring was going to suffer for the sins that they did. But God is keeping their dying ass falling apart bodies here intact long enough for them to go through their own foolery. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Sweet justice. Smell it, take it in, take it in. Right, Echo. And that's the truth. When you hear the truth, you ain't got to shove it or bang it. It just fall right into place. You're right. And that's why I give it to y'all. Y'all just do with it what y'all want. You have the instructions on how to use it. I would screenshot them so I would know how to use it, but I lost them. It's impossible. What you got? Some things, Leezy Wink. Some you might got something real simple and you don't need to screenshot nothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. When y'all tell me y'all be screenshotting the stuff that I be put, y'all make me feel a little off. I'm uncomfortable, because I'm gonna put it out there as a general speech. I'm very well aware that some people use what I make and create to create their own stuff. I'm very well aware of that. All he doing is stacking shit on it, so I'm uncomfortable with, but I don't know if you're not comfortable with telling me what type of products you had bought from me on here, then just email me. Cause if it's sold out, I'm not putting it back up. It's gonna be like that until I restock. And I mean, if it's probably something simple. I don't. Uh, You met a man recently who's allergic to shrimp, but every day since 2020 he's eating shrimp. Cha. The originals was showing what? Tangi, what the originals was showing? You know, it's funny you saying about that, Echo, about children's stories. A lot of children's stories are not cute. Some of them children's stories was horror stories. Arranged marriages. Yeah, some of these arranged marriages was so people won't be mating with fallen angels. Like for example, I did some research and found out. Okay, so listen to me. I'm not gonna tell y'all that part, but I remember when I used to watch Real Housewives of Potomac, and there is a African lady on there named Wendy. I don't know if she's still on there now because it's been so long since I've watched Real Housewives of Potomac. I can't even tell you what's going on. But anyway, apparently her mother-in-law didn't like her because of the certain tribe that she comes from. From what I read up on, this tribe, who her specific bloodline in the tribe, not the tribe itself, but that specific clan, her last name or whoever, whatever that specific, allegedly she comes from a cursed lineage. And so these people, because you know, people from the east, anybody who's east from here, they keep up. They keep up with. Sorry, hold on. Oh, give me 1 second. It's a baby. What's up, girl?
Hello.
How was school?
It's good.
Good. So, she scared you? you know my baby don't be paying attention. Why you do that? Why you walk up on her like that?
I'm sorry.
So, anyway, the mother supposedly didn't like her daughter-in-law because it was almost okay, my son's gonna have, he even had babies with this woman, and now what does that make my grandchildren, that kind of stuff. And they keep up with stuff like that. These Africans can tell you, I'm Obo, son of Abuja. They'll tell you, like I'm Yimi, the son of Ed. Like they know. Boom, 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 boom. We over here like, nigga, we from Cleveland. My mama was a Jackson. My daddy was a Collins. Yeah, little Collins and them. Off of 18th Street in Florence. Yeah, them. I don't know nothing about my granddaddy though. He didn't stick around long. Like we so, you know what I'm saying? Like we, bro, they be knowing. So like I said, allegedly, wait, what? Right, that's just the way it is. Okay, the great eclipse I think is 2024. It's about to go down. They trying their best. They trying their best, boy. And that shit ain't about to pop up. No, y'all are gonna have to get that ass whipping. You can't pray this shit away. You can't manifest it away. You gonna get this ass whipping. America, you have put your nose in everybody's business except your own. It is time that you deal with your shit and heal. We don't need another fucking president. We need to be divorced from that shit so we can know what it feels like to be single. Okay? I don't do no DNA. Don't. I mean, you can if you want to. That's up to you. But they're gonna lie to you. Why y'all keep asking me about a financial? Y'all stop feeding into this shit. What I am gonna tell y'all too is pivot. Okay? Y'all might want to go ahead and pivot. Look into how to reassign your funds. Look into how, see what types of digital currencies is safe. All right? Just look into what digital currencies are safe at this time. because there are things that's going to change and happen. But the Celestine Prophecy, if y'all have not read that book, The Celestine Prophecy, y'all might want to go ahead on and get yourself real acquainted with that book, because the Celestine Prophecy is telling you what was to come. And he wrote that in like the 1980s, I think. I think that book is about almost as old as me, or it might be like early or mid 90s, but I know that book is not in the 2000s. But it's foretelling. It's definitely foretelling, and it's definitely on code. There are going to be upgrades that's going to help us to not be so boggled down by the 9 to 5 workday, so that we can upgrade and different things like that. So there are going to be automations, okay? Some of these automations are going to seem like a total I can never say this word. Totalitarian shit. A total takeover by other forces, but some of that is not going to be demonic. Some of it is actually to help us integrate and to be able to, I'm going to just be real with y'all. Eventually, we are going to move off of a currency. Okay? Eventually, we're not going to have to pay for money. This is the whole of the law. Okay? This is the whole of the matter. The powers that used to be knew this. They knew that there were alien forces and energies that was working with humanity to raise the vibrations to where eventually we will not be enslaved to any type of workforce whatsoever. They knew that eventually humanity as a whole was going to move into that energy. But they were trying to make it to where it would be a new world order energy that would, it would be like so, it would be so like not anarchy, but it would be so anti-Christ like, okay, that it would be always like a war, a curfew. You being monitored all the time. Well, we're already being monitored. Everything is a monitor. Your new cars monitor you. They come in with built-in GPS systems now. You don't have to buy a Garmin or, the ones that you put on the outside. You don't have to buy those no more. Like, technology is so to where they can tap into your light bulbs at this point. They got stuff where they can listen on your conversations if you got a smart light bulb. People are buying smart homes and shit. Don't even know they helping these shadow governments bug their homes and all this other bullshit. You're already tapped. This phone is tapped. If you allow this to run you, you won't be able to live. You better learn how to take what has been used against you and use it in your favor. Ain't that what Will Smith did in the Enemy of the State movie? Use what's been used against you into your favor. Turn against them what's been. That's what we're doing. That's what this elevation is all about. Taking what's been used against us and using it against. Listen, they are helping us upgrade. All this technology, and we got to learn how to use it now. Listen, babies being born in 2023 is coming out speaking code. They're learning how to build a website out the womb. They're giving you the power. Utilize it wisely. Our children are getting ready to listen. That's why I am standing behind these kids 100. You hear me? I'm going to make sure this generation lead with power. I'm going to personally make sure of that. I want these babies to be Jackie Chan's and Bruce Lee's out the gate. We chop we all this shit. Hell to the yeah. You ain't gonna take these babies and harvest them. No, you're not. You done did it enough with us, but you ain't about to do it with them. It stops here, motherfucker. How about that? So it is what it is. Transmute it. Transmute it. You want something to see? I'll give you something to see. Shit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go on Amazon and I'm gonna buy me a mascot outfit. And certain times of the day, I'm just gonna randomly play Gundam style, and I'm gonna just start dancing. You want a show? I'm gonna give you a show. I'm gonna give you exactly what you want. A show. Oh, I told y'all before that I like Irish people. I do. I think they got their own little swag too, and I like them with them heavy ass accents, and them Scottish people too. Most of the time when I'm in New Orleans, I come across Irish people, Scottish people. I love St. Patrick. I have a true affinity for St. Patrick in my heart. I really do. I don't know why. I really don't. Ever since I was a little girl, I always liked St. Patrick's Day. It was always something about St. Patrick. You don't like PDA? You don't like public displays of affection? I do. But only with the right person. Like, I don't, if we ain't together and we just dating, but we ain't really together, don't touch me in public. I don't want nobody to think you claiming me and we ain't really together. I know I'm just not right, ain't I? That's like you want a man but you don't want a boyfriend. You want friends but you don't want to go outside. Oh my God, help me. All right, I'm getting ready to get up off of here. Cause that is baby Mystic's alarm. And I gotta kiss my baby. The originals was the relationship between vampires, witches. Oh, really? I might need to watch that. They were showing the relationship between witches and vamps. Okay. I'm going to have to watch the originals. I ain't never watched it, and it was centered in New Orleans. Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's the vampire hub. I always felt like true origins of vamps started with us anyway. I traced it vampire energy. The most further back I could trace it was Acadia before Egypt. I mean, but we do have a place here called Acadiana in Acadia. So, I mean, that is Louisiana at the end of the day. So, a lot of things aren't overseas, y'all. Some of them things overseas are just like images of what's really here. Like how the Grand Canyon and Sedona got sphinxes and shit. They don't want you to know that. Okay. Damn, I went too far up. I'm trying to read the rest of y'all stuff before I get up off of here. Scottish. Thank you. I am glowing, huh? Yes. I'm gonna always be glowing, child. Cause I'm aging backwards, reversing back. Oh, Echo. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I like PDA, but we got to be together for you to give me PDA. I don't. If we haven't called a thing, then don't touch me like that. It's crazy because some days I can be like a little dog. I want to be pet. I want to be, and then I turn into a cat real quick. Like, you're cute. Don't touch me. I don't know. I have these issues. Air sign Libra energy. Like, y'all don't know. It's hard being a Libra. It is. It's hard being a Libra. When you want, I don't know how Libras can turn vicious. Cause I tried it and it just sometimes don't work with me. Like, you gotta piss me off to get vicious. Like, I don't know. Like, I be trying sometimes. I try to be a savage and I can't get past being goofy. Like, you gotta catch me on a day where I'm real serious. It's hard. I gotta force myself to be a goon. Thank you, Paradise J. You said, girl, I'm tired of you. You want to go live when I'm at work. Blue. I have a redhead baby already. Baby Mystic is a redhead. You late. My firstborn, she was redhead, but she grew up out of it. Eventually, her hair turned dark. But baby Mystic is a redhead. Most of us Creole women out down here, we have redhead children, especially if they're boys. I don't know why that is that way, but when a Creole woman has babies, especially a boy, they end up being redhead. I had red hair when I was little, but it grew. I grew out of it. Eventually, it's like it goes to that dirty brown color, and then you get older and it gets darker. But baby Mystic is a redhead. He a little redhead boy. Yes, he is. He a little redhead boy. Don't hate your red hair. You should embrace it. All right. All down south in Arkansas and Oklahoma areas in Texas. You know, you know, you know, child. You know about that. You know why them people come up missing? Y'all remember from Dusk Till Dawn? You talking about organ harvesting, but some of them people is feasting. Sorry, I scared myself. All right, I gotta go. I love y'all. See you later, alligator and crocodiles. After a while.